It's like I'm always found where the trouble's at. Drinking brown shit now, I'm off a cup of that. Your girl's on me, what's up with that? If I like her, all the shit would really take is a double tap. Having visions of fucking an A-list singer, a Kardashian or a Jenner. But yeah, he's got Kim, Tiger swooped up Kylie, so it's one left, watch me go get her.
Woo! What's good, YouTube? It is your boy TCM, bringing you another video here today. And it's story time, boys. It is story time. So let me jump right into it. This was around Easter time, and it was low-key, it rained. We had a storm like a couple days before. So right before Easter time, it was a really bad storm. It came down, a lot of rain, like 6 inches of rain. I don't even know, maybe that's a lot of rain. Probably too much rain. Anyways, there was a lot of rain, and I live in New Hampshire, so like there's a lot of rivers and stuff like that, and like the commute that I take to get to school and like town and like the main, I guess, city, you have to like cross bridges and stuff. So my dad thought it was a great idea, since the river was so high. Usually we go canoeing and stuff like that. So we go canoeing in the summer. So the river was so high, and when the river's high, it's really easy to, you know, go canoeing, because you don't have to worry about hitting rocks or anything like that, because the water's so high that you just glide over everything. So my dad's like the most, like, he's like Bear Grylls. My dad's literally the craziest guy ever. Like, literally always like wants to rock climb, ice climb, friggin'. He literally thinks that aliens are gonna attack, or that zombies are gonna attack or something. He's that guy that's been waiting for something. Like, he is stocked and ready. Like, this fool is like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, this fool is ready. Anyways, so Easter time, right? I go to his house, and usually we do like Easter dinner like later, like with my dad. So he had a bunch of his friends over, and I had some of my friends over, and we were all kind of hanging out or whatever, and he decided to hype us all up into thinking to go canoeing today. He was like, you know what, like, we're going canoeing today, like, screw what anybody doesn't say, as meanwhile you hear, like, on the TV, everybody don't stay inside, don't do anything, especially don't go swimming today, and you hear him go, oh, we're going canoeing. So somehow he all talked us into going canoeing, and we strap the 2 canoes on top of his big truck, take off, go to the spot where we put in the canoes. We put in the canoes, right? There was 2 canoes, 3 people in each. It was me, my dad, and one of our good friends. I think his name was Justin. I think it was Justin, and the other one. And then, anyways, there was 2 of our other friends and their girlfriend and the other canoe. So we're sitting there, right, and we're going down, and as soon as we got to the river, I sat there and I realized, like, fuck, why did I let him talk me into this? And my dad's the type of guy where, like, he doesn't take disappointment well. So, like, I couldn't get all the way up there and then be like the one person being like, fuck no, I ain't doing this. I couldn't bail out on everybody, you know? So I was like, all right, you know what, like, what's the worst that's gonna happen, right? If only I knew. Bro, literally start canoeing, we're going, not even 20 minutes into canoeing, like, it's an hour and a half, like, canoe trip, from, like, the point that we go to start at to the point that we go to. So it's not even 20 minutes into it, we're going, right? And the people that were, like, with us went ahead of us, and we were just, like, behind them, and we were going pretty, like, fast for, like, a usual canoeing trip. And obviously there's a bunch of, like, trees down and all that stuff, and all of a sudden you see they're canoeing, right, and there's a branch right here, and next thing you know, they literally just get fucking high calibered straight off a head glitch. I mean, straight hit it, just set it and forget it. Like, literally got clapped by a branch. Next thing you know, their whole boat just tips. I'm gonna remind you that it's Easter. The water temperature is hypothermic. Not only did we decide to go then, there was ice on the water. Like, I don't know why the fuck my dad decided to do this to us. Anyways, so they start tipping, right? And of course, when things tip, they had stuff in the canoe. They had, like, food. They had fucking the little seats in the, because they put seats in them. They had the paddles. They had, I don't know, coolers, all this stuff. So we're like right behind them, like trying to pick up all their stuff so not losing stuff and like putting it on our boat. And the next thing you know, we tip. We hit the same goddamn tree, and we're going down like Titanic now. And I mean, full-blown Titanic. We are sinking. We are flipping. The fact is, I hit it and flipped. I was in the water. I was freaking out. It was so cold. My muscles literally were like cramping. I was just trying to get to the bank, and the water was so fast that it was sweeping me down, and like I almost got killed. And right before the the girl that tipped, or the other boat, like the right before the first boat tipped, one of the girls in the boat right before she tipped goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, I can't swim." Falls into the water, doesn't have a life jacket on. So we're just like, who fucking invited Helen Keller? Like, Jesus Christ. So now we're all trying to scramble and like save everything while trying to maintain of not floating down the river and dying and getting pinned under a rock or something like that and drowning to death, while trying to like not have our muscles freeze to death. Like, the water was so fast that like I'm a really good swimmer. Like, I grew up like around the river, like always swimming, like always doing that. Like, I'm a really good swimmer, and like I couldn't even like get through anything. Like, so like I'm thinking to myself, like, if I'm struggling to get across, like I have no idea what's going on in this girl's mind, like that she can't swim. So everyone's like freaking out, scrambling, like trying to just get to the bank, because luckily we were pretty close to a bank. So we finally get onto the bank, and at that point we lost all of our stuff. My dad was completely pissed, because I don't know if you guys know this, but when you try to like lift a canoe when there's water in it, it's literally impossible. It is the heaviest thing ever. You might as well go try to pick up a goddamn building in New York City. Like, it is the hardest thing ever. So my dad just sat on the bank and watched his canoes float away, his favorite canoes that he's had forever. He's just sitting there swearing, blaming this, blaming that, blaming Obama, I'm pretty sure, just yelling at everybody. I'm like sitting there like, God damn, I'm freezing to death. I had shorts on, I'm pretty sure. I don't even understand why we went canoeing. Like, I'm still sitting there and I'm like, why the fuck did we do this? And now I'm just sitting there like freezing to death, and we're stuck on a bank. So now we're like, all right, we need to get the hell out of here, because at this point we didn't even know where we were, because we only know the river pattern, but like we don't know what part of town we were in at that point. So we just started walking and walking and walking one direction, hoping we would find, like, civilization at this point, because we're in the. I know like New Hampshire's not like in the middle of nowhere, but like the part that we were in like was like a drive out there. Like, it wasn't near any like actual civilization. Like, it was literally wildlife. So like we're out there, and we're just walking at this point, just walking and walking and walking. And of course, sooner or later you're gonna run into something, right? And my bad luck wasn't done yet. So I'm walking, we're walking, and it happens again. We just walk into a dead end, and it just comes to a triangle point, and there's a river, like another like river point, or another like big ass stream. So we try to. So one of our friends who was like about to go into the Marines or whatever, we were like, all right, he's probably the most fit out of all of us. Let's have him go across and let us know how it is. So of course, when you go to cross a river, you start at the top, or you start up as far as you can, because the current's strong, and you want to have as much time as you can to cross, because it's gonna pull you down. He started all the way at the top, and I want to say like he started like 15, 20 feet up the river and barely made it. And I mean, he was swimming. Like, you could hear him like breathing so hard, like exhaling and like trying to get across. And then we were over there with a girl who couldn't swim, and like two other people who weren't that big, like that good of swimmers. So we're just sitting there like, fuck, like what are we supposed to do? We're freezing to death. Next thing I know, I turn around, my dad just built a fire. He just started breaking off branches and built a fire there. And then we hear a dog. Out of nowhere, we hear this barking, and we're like, oh, like, what the hell? Like, there's no way a dog's on the loose. Like, maybe someone will come help us, or whatever. So, this dog comes over, and these two people are, like, behind it, are, like, behind the dog on, like, four-wheelers. So they come up to us, and they're like, oh, do you need help, or whatever? Like, you need help? And my dad's trying to tell them that we don't need help, because my dad's extremely stubborn and just hates getting help from anybody, and hates, like, having that type of public attention, or whatever. So then one of the people were like, yeah, we needed help, and they immediately called 911. So then the whole goddamn search and rescue team came to where we were, because like on the other because we were on this like little island at this point, and then on the other side was like a bank and where we needed to go, and but this like river was just so like dangerous, like we just couldn't get like honestly, like me and my dad could have got through it, but like we obviously weren't going to leave the people there. So then the fire department came, and the search and rescue and the cops and everybody came, and they're yelling over us, like over to us on the other side of the bank, like, put that fire out. That's a fire hazard or whatever. You could burn down the whole the whole forest, or the whole wherever the hell we were. I don't remember exactly. They were like, "Oh, we can burn down the whole like wildlife and everything." And my dad just yelling back like, "Fuck you! Come put this out yourself!" Like I'm freezing my balls off. Like just yelling back and forth at him. And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's never gonna end. I'm gonna die here." So finally, the search and rescue team comes over, and they bring this stupid little dingy-ass, cringy, fucking Chris Kringle Burlock-looking motherfuckers over on this stupid little plastic boat. Looks like he made by Legos, and they're just tugging along, right? Like they have a little like pulley system, or I don't know, like a little. Oh no, they have this little engine in the back, and they're going across, and I'm sitting there, and they're like the diving and like the rescue team, they're struggling. Like we needed to help them. Like they came over to us and we had to help them. Like they couldn't get across the river. So now I'm sitting there like, great. We have a bunch of 60-year-old retired search and rescue people trying to save us. I was like, now we're gonna have to save them. Like this guy's over here having a heart attack. This guy's over here fucking eating Cheerios because his blood pressure's too low. I'm like, I have to call Life Alert now too. Like who else is gonna show up? So finally, after an extremely long time, to make this go a little bit faster, after an extremely long time, they shuttled us over on the thing like two by two, and when we were going across, my dad had to hold down the side so it was like stable because we were literally like going like this, and like the boat was like moving around, looked like a goddamn 80s dance fucking reunion, and I'm sitting there like, come on, like I'm really young at this point too, like I want to say I was like 12 years old or 13 years old, so I'm freaking out, right? Like I'm so scared, and I'm like, oh my God, like we're gonna die or whatever, and all this stuff, and then we finally get across to the bank, and they get us in an ambulance, and they checked our like temperature and everything like that, and we had hypothermia. We had literally we could have died like if we were in the water any longer, and they were telling us that. So they put us in the ambulance, warmed us up, and all that, and then after like I don't know 30 minutes of that, the newspaper came over and asked us some questions or whatever, because obviously they're gonna report this in the newspaper. So funny enough, when they asked us all for they asked my dad first, and he set the example first. He literally sat there and gave him a fake name. So we all gave the newspaper like fake names, because obviously none of us had our IDs or anything on us where they could actually know who we were. And so we all gave them fake names. And the next day we look at the paper and everything, and I go to school and I look at the paper, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, like Tegan, like, oh, like, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's funny. That was me." And they're like, "What? Like, no, it was this guy or whatever." And I'm pretty sure I gave him like my name was like friggin' I don't even know, like Chuck Witherspoon or something. Who knows? I mean, it was a crazy day overall. I learned my lesson. I'm never going canoeing in Easter again. I mean, I'm glad I stayed alive at least. It's a good story to tell. I think it's pretty funny. But, you know, it's a good lesson. Don't ever go canoeing on Easter. It sucks. It's cold. There was literally goddamn glaciers in the water, and we were Titanic. I was on the Titanic. Well, ladies and gents, till next time. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. I love you guys a lot. Thank you guys for watching this, and stay saucy.